Well, you've certainly heard it by now. Michigan State's head football coach is suspended without pay. What we're learning about the sexual harassment allegation and investigation that led to Mel Tucker's suspension and reaction from East Lansing. That is coming up. Good morning.
Good morning, Amy. We are live outside Ascension Providence Hospital here in Rochester, where dozens and dozens of healthcare workers walked off the job bright and early this morning over stalled contract talks, what they are fighting for. In my live report, good morning, Brandon.
Hey, Robin, good morning. And we are also on strike watch for the Detroit Big Three. The UAW set to walk off the job in a matter of days with no new contract agreement is reached. The important details you need to know, that's coming up.
Working for you. Fox 2 News Live at 11 starts now.
We remember all those who suffered and died. We grieve for them still, friends and strangers alike, along with their family and friends.
It is a somber ceremony this morning in Clinton Township, Metro Detroit, joining the nation, remembering the September 11th terrorist attacks 22 years ago today.
And in New York, the ceremonial reading of the names of those lives lost during the terror attacks is happening right now in Lower Manhattan. We'll have more on today's 9/11 remembrances in just a few moments.
That's right. But first, good morning, and thanks for being with us on this Monday. I'm Amy Lange.
I'm Brandon Hudson. We want to get to the story that's been talked about all weekend. The entire state has been talking about this. MSU suspends head football coach Mel Tucker, pending a Title IX hearing next month.
But they only suspended him after this was all made public by USA Today. It all has to do with newly disclosed sexual harassment accusations involving a very high-profile victim. Fox 2's Camila Miri with that story.
Accused of sexual harassment, MSU head football coach Mel Tucker suspended without pay on Sunday.
This step to place Mel Tucker on an unpaid leave is equally necessary and appropriate for today's circumstances.
The circumstances surrounding the suspension, a Title IX investigation into allegations Tucker allegedly masturbated while on the phone with Brenda Tracy, a prominent sexual assault survivor and activist who educates athletes about the issue. The story was first reported by USA Today.
I was shocked because I was just at the game yesterday watching it, and it was a great game. I'm shocked that something like this has happened again in sports because we had Larry Nassar in like 2016.
It is not lost on me the significance of this moment or its impact on those involved in the case, our university community, and the extended Spartan family.
It's just surprising, it caught me off guard, especially when I first heard it.
The Title IX report was filed in December 2022. A third-party investigation into the matter concluded in July of this year. A formal hearing regarding the findings is scheduled for next month. Many questioning the timing of the suspension. When the university first learned of the allegations months ago, why suspend the coach now?
We're always evaluating. Interim measures were in place, and those interim measures have been updated. Initially, there were no contact with the complainant, and then also increased oversight from me of the program, but then also the coach.
In East Lansing, Camila Miri, Fox 2 News.
Well, the summer of strikes continues. While much of the nation is focused on a possible automaker strike locally, nurses have walked off the job to walk the picket line.
And this morning marked the start of what is expected to last several days at Ascension Providence Hospital in Rochester. That's where Fox 2's Robin Murdoch is joining us live. And Robin, I understand these negotiations actually started last year.
Yeah, they've been ongoing since 2022, and that is one of the reasons why the union leaders that we spoke with out here this morning, Amy and Brandon, they are fed up with how this process is going, how slow it's going, the lack of progress. They say that there are some times when they aren't given the necessary information in regards to contract talks. Other times, people who are involved in this process simply are not showing up when they are supposed to, so they are picketing to prove a point.
At one point, as we all knew, we were called heroes, but we feel we have went from heroes to zero.
Dozens and dozens of healthcare workers who stepped up during the COVID-19 outbreak are now stepping out of Ascension Providence Hospital here in Rochester. They walked off the job at 7 o'clock on Monday morning over stalled contract talks and alleged illegal activities when it comes to that bargaining that's been going on for over a year now.
Had many of our members say to us that they're worried about the patients and the care they're going to receive. And ultimately, this is how we care for our patients in the long term, is by doing something like this, standing up for our community and what we need to care for them safely so that long term we can do that.
Danielle Juilliard is among the union members who went on strike and is willing to walk the line for as long as needed. Over the next several days, you'll see a rotation of nurses and radiologic technologists wearing yellow and blue, picketing outside the popular hospital, and lots of horn honking. The main sticking points: patient safety and better pay.
We are fighting for safe staffing. That is what Local 40 has always stood for. We care about nurse-to-patient ratio. We want to have safe staffing. They told us they're not even interested. They've turned this down 6 times at the table.
The union has already filed 16 complaints with the National Labor Relations Board against Ascension Providence for not sharing relevant information regarding negotiations, along with threats made against bargaining members and bad faith bargaining. It is also asking the Michigan Attorney General and the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office to look into a possible violation of what's known as the Strike Breakers Act for bringing in scab workers to replace them.
It is very disrespectful to us. It's heart-hurting right now. Nursing is a ministry for us. It's more than a profession. We don't want to strike, but we'll do what we have to do.
Now, Ascension Providence did release a statement to us, and it says that a ministry of the Catholic Church, we affirm the right of our associates to organize themselves through union representation and participate in a work stoppage event. However, we are disappointed that the union has made the decision to proceed with a 3-day strike, especially given the economic hardship this will present for our associates and their families. It went on to say that patient safety is a priority at the hospital is well prepared to remain open and care for patients during this short-term strike, end quote. Now, during the last bargaining session, the hospital does tell us they did offer the largest increase for a first-year contract of this kind. We are talking about a 19% increase. Of course, we'll keep you posted on future bargaining sessions. For now, we are live in Rochester. I'm Robin Murdoch for Fox 2 News.
Well, it's unfortunate when the unions feel like they have to strike to get the attention of the, the company. This is only expected to last, though, 3 days, Robin?
To replace some of these striking workers. It's a special agency, and they do require that they work for 4 days, that the people that they are bringing in work for 4 days under that contract. So these striking employees behind me, they will not be able to work their shifts at the hospital until Friday at the earliest. Back to you.
Murdoch, we appreciate you. Thanks so much. Brandon.
Meanwhile, the United Auto Workers Union rejected the latest contract proposals from the Big Three. The two sides have less than 4 days left to reach a deal and avoid a strike. Union President Shawn Fain wants a 46% pay raise over 4 years. He wants to end the tiered wage system, a 32-hour work week with 40 hours pay, and more stipulations. So far, automakers have offered raises, but it is not close to what the union wants. Fain says there's a lot that needs to happen between now and Thursday night in order to avoid a strike.
Things are moving, but they're moving very slow, and we got a long way to go in 4 days. And but our membership's energized. I mean, I'm excited. The price of vehicles in the Big Three and overall have went up 30% in the last 4 years. Our wages went up 6%. This is our generation's defining moment, and everything we do at this moment is going to affect not just the UAW. It's going to affect many workers in the working class throughout the whole spectrum. If we don't get our justice, I can guarantee you one thing: come this Thursday at midnight, there will be action.
Tough talk. The union is getting a lot of help in spreading its message.
We are in 2023 and we got to beg. We got to beg people making billions of dollars to say we got to have cost of living adjustment, especially now when we know inflation is killing our families.
The big three automakers are raking in record profits, and that prosperity has not been shared with workers.
Auto workers last went on strike in 2019.
And two people traveling in separate vehicles are in critical condition this morning after a serious crash that shut down M59 in Oakland County. Investigators say it happened in the eastbound lanes of M59 near DeQuinder and John R. The Oakland County Sheriff's Department says a driver of a GMC Sierra was heading westbound on M59, crossed over the eastbound lane and hit two vehicles. One driver was struck and was not seriously hurt. A second driver in a Ford Taurus and the driver of the GMC are both in critical condition. So far, none of the people involved have been identified. Also new this morning, crews working to clean up a big mess after a truck hauling gravel overturned on a busy stretch of freeway. And take a look at Skyfox over the scene earlier this morning. This has been causing heavy backups in the eastbound lanes of M14 near I-275. Along with the gravel, crews also having to clean up a fuel spill. So far, fortunately, no injuries have been reported.
Another weekend marred by violence in Detroit, and right now Detroit police are looking for the person who opened fire, shooting 4 people on the city's west side, killing 2 of them. This happened near Joy and Southfield Roads. Police called to the area after someone reported young people threatening others with guns. When officers arrived, everyone scattered. And then about an hour later, we have another incident.
What we're getting at this point right now, and again, preliminary, is that this was a disturbance over weapons were being brandished. There were small children in the one house across the street, and the adult victim of that had enough of it. There was a physical altercation where the adult victim was getting the best of the younger person, and an individual with an AK-47 rifle decided he did not want to see his friend lose the fight, and he opened fire.
And as we see with many of these violent scenes, quite an emotional scene that played out afterwards. Both of the victims who were killed were in their 20s. The suspect is a male who was seen leaving the area in a silver Jeep Patriot.